Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Michelle, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 191 for June 23rd, 2025.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say, aye.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Here we go, people. We're here. It's Monday.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. Happy hot outside Monday in Florida.
Oh my gosh. So I was looking at the news, and so last night, this is interesting. I saw that like the north is having like a heat wave.
Yeah.
So I looked up the temperature last night before bed. It was hotter in Michigan than it was here.
Really?
Yeah.
But they have something up there called humidity.
Well, so do we.
It's not that much down here right now. It just feels like it's desert.
It's swampy here. I hate it. But yeah, so they're having a big old heat wave, and I still follow social media from our old neighborhood, and everybody is like, people are like freaking out. Like, some people's air conditioning is broke.
It's not used to running like we have to.
Right.
Here.
Some people are saying their air conditioning can't keep up, which since we've moved here, we have had days where it's like, it's just so hot. Like it can't catch up.
Can't catch up.
But I think it's only going to be for a few days for them. But yeah, it's hotter there than here.
But do you remember back in Michigan, when it get hot, sometimes you would get the thing from DTE, which was the energy company up there, saying that we're going to have rolling brownouts on purpose. They're going to
rolling brownouts.
For like a couple hours, they'll shut off your power or something like that to bring down your AC so you can't keep it running because it's causing everybody else to have issues.
And you know what's weird is like, okay, you guys, we're totally sidebarring right out the gate, but what's weird is you don't hear about that stuff here, like quote unquote brownouts, or when you only get partial electricity. Remember that they would say it was a brownout, so your house lights would still sort of be on, but everything would be dim.
Right, the AC, which usually had its own box, a lot of times. They would shut that one down.
It's weird though. So they were actually hotter up north, but I not only by a couple of degrees. So I mean, it's been miserable hot here.
Well, and here our AC systems, everybody knows when you live here, your AC basically starts running from February till December. Pretty much nonstop for that time period.
Yeah, it's just weird that to see how hot it is up there as opposed to here. But like, I think what it is too is like we're used to it. So
yeah, we're used to it.
I mean, we're used to it, like not happy about it, but used to it.
Right. We still walk outside and go, oh my gosh, it's hot out.
It's so hot. Yeah.
But we expect it to be. Before we even open the door, we know it's going to be miserable because we put the dog out. Ava goes outside and we get to taste a little bit of the heat out there.
Yeah. When you walk outside and it's like, whoa, it smacks you in the face. But yeah, so it's hot here and apparently other places too.
So everybody's hot.
That's right. Well, it is officially summer now. So.
Everybody needs a cold drink and a pool.
Oh my God, I would love a pool.
I know our neighbors across the street from us have their pool, and every time we go out there to get in the car, we see them in the pool, and it's like, we need to make friends with those people.
Right.
I mean, we have the pool here at the community, but in the summertime,
not the same.
it's so many kids and stuff in the summertime, it's just not.
And we're at that age where we just want quiet, and that's just not it. So anyway, back to the Disney matters at hand.
Yes, and start with our adventures in Florida living.
Okay.
Last week. Now, we didn't do a whole lot, because of the heat.
Yes.
But we did get to the parks twice last week.
We did.
So we went on Wednesday. We decided we were going to go over to Epcot for a little bit.
We did.
And it was hot.
It was so hot.
It was very hot. The park did not look that busy when we got there at all.
You know, it really wasn't. Like, the parking lot was, even when we walked out, like, later in the afternoon, the parking lot still was only hardly full at all.
Hardly full. The lots that they keep for preferred was not even a half full.
No.
And you could tell they were starting to let people come forward already for a little bit. Then
Yeah, for whatever reason, it wasn't busy at all, and we don't know if it's so. We have philosophies here, okay, or we have ideas as to why that could be. So one, the heat, obviously, but two, there are no festivals going on at Epcot right now. So
not a one,
nothing, and usually there's festivals all the time, especially since the shutdowns. But now, we're going like most of the summer with no festival, and maybe people just don't see a reason to go. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's possible because we're used to festivals nonstop at Epcot, and right now we have like a 2-month window.
Yeah, and it was weird to see the festival booths closed.
It was because usually if they're closed, they're only closed for a week or two while they're flipping
flipping
the signs over to be whatever the booth is supposed to be for the next one. One thing I noticed, and this kind of bugs me, and it might bug you at Epcot.
What's that?
So when we pull into the parking lot, and when you get there earlier in the day,
I know what you're gonna say.
They have you park on the lots that are on the if you're looking at Spaceship Earth, the lots that are on the left side is where they're gonna park you.
Yeah.
So then you either walk or you take the tram up to the front, and you get off there, or you walk in, and then they make you go all the way to the very last spot on the right to actually walk into the park, which I understand for the buses.
Yeah.
That entrance makes complete sense to me for the buses. But why don't they park us on the right side then also? Why do they park us on the left but accommodate the buses, but they don't accommodate people who drove and have the entrance closer for them?
Okay, so I'm going to give a brand new name to the parking situation over at Epcot. So Epcot is the parking lot of inconvenience.
It is.
Because so it is downright maddening sometimes because like we'll get to the park, there is plenty of close parking, and here we go. Or they send you all the way down by Guardians.
Behind Guardians in that area.
And you're parking in like you might as well have stayed home and walked. It's ridiculous. And then, it doesn't, and then when you do get up there, like you said, you got to walk all the way to their side. Now it's too freaking hot for that, and it's like it makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason. And there's been times. See, you got me going now. There's been times that we've gone to Epcot and I've seen the parking and I'm like, I don't even want to be here at this point.
Right.
Because you're exhausted by the time you even get into the park.
And even if the security stand was the one that was closest to like where the monorail is, where you go up to the monorail, if it was those parking ones, but they picked the furthest too, so it's closest to the buses.
Yeah.
But it's the furthest for the people who parked in their actual lot, who may have paid for parking.
Good point.
Because a lot of those people, I mean, not all of them, because there's people who stay at the resorts who get free parking. There's annual pass holders who get free parking. But we've sat there plenty of time behind people who were paying for parking.
Right.
So these people who are paying for parking have to walk even further to get in the park that they're going to pay even more to get into.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, and it's super inconvenient. And they put speed bumps in over there now too, which is also super annoying.
Makes you wonder why, though.
Yeah, why? I'm thinking, who is racing to the gates, like to the point where they would even need that?
And it was multiple ones. It
was.
It was some of the rumble strips, and it was actual speed bumps.
It was, and I'm just like, okay, they don't have that anyplace else, so why Epcot?
And you said to me, are these new? Because neither one of us remembered them. No,
I'm like, what is going on here? And it's so weird when you live here and you go to the parks all the time. You start to second guess yourself. Like, was that new? Was that always here? Like,
right.
We do that a lot, and most of the time, it is. But this was something brand new, and you could tell by the bumps and the strips that were on it. That was brand new, and it's like I don't get it. I don't know why they can't get their crap together with parking over at Epcot. But yeah, it makes it okay. So you know how we always say that Magic Kingdom is a great park, but getting to and from is a nightmare, especially leaving.
Yes. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Oh, yes, we will. Epcot is annoying in the similar sense that it doesn't take as long necessarily. You don't have to take a boat or anything to get there, but they don't make it easy for people in the parking lot.
And I will say, if you're leaving from World Showcase, say you're in America, that is a long trek from, it's because you got to go around the rest of the lagoon, walk through Future World, then you hit the parking lot. And granted, their parking lots don't go as far back as like the Magic Kingdom ones, but Epcot's parking lot is the second largest parking lot in the world. It's behind Mall of America.
And it sure does feel that way.
It sure does feel. So when you pull in that parking lot during a festival and you see it packed, that is just maddening. It is so many people. It's hard to fathom how many people could actually park in that lot, but it is a ton.
It really is. And but yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was hot. We saw the lady standing on chairs in Italy.
We did the entertainment. So she stacks the chairs and she balances on them, and she looked like a waitress.
Yes.
She was holding like a tray, and she had poured. It was water,
yeah,
in wine glasses, and it was just part of the shtick.
Yeah,
it was cute. It was a cute little show.
It was, but we both, as we walked away, like at some point, I'm like, that gives me anxiety because she is just on regular old cement.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no padding.
There's no padding. I mean, there's ways that you could figure it out, like have a cutout and a padding where the chairs are stacked.
Right.
But then if she were to fall. Because there's kids around and stuff, and at one point she climbs them chairs pretty high, and it was making me nervous for her. I'm like, girl, don't fall.
Yeah, I've never personally stood that close to somebody who does the chair stacking, so I could actually see the grooves in the chair of how they stack them, which was interesting to see because I never saw that before. But she was really good, and she's entertaining while she's doing it. She's quiet. She's almost miming the whole thing. But she's doing things that's making people laugh. And it's only a 10, 11-minute show, which we have on our YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to go see that, you can go watch it on our YouTube channel. But it was entertaining. I mean, it passed the time for 10 minutes and something we had never seen before. And usually the chair stacker is over in France.
Yes.
It's not usually in Italy. So that was something a little bit different.
Yeah. Where does the stacker stand in France?
In front of the one restaurant there.
Okay, yep, that's right.
The restaurant right there in the front there.
Right. Yeah, it was interesting. We just happened to catch her at the right time.
Mm-hmm. We were walking out of the store because you always like to walk through the perfume store. I call it because it's all where all.
Yeah, I always like to check out the merchandise in Italy Pavilion because it's my favorite pavilion. But yeah, that was fun. And then we really didn't do much anything else. We went over there because I wanted to see if you could see through the bushes at the new chess track
Which
front.
we kind of did.
Yes, we did.
And you got some good shots of that.
I did.
I did reach over a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But it got a better shot so you could see the full sign.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything super exciting. I mean, they did there's a new sign. The front is different. The signs are updated.
They were testing.
They were. And the cars were going one by one by one. Like, there was no space in between.
Maybe
it was fast.
20 seconds in between the cars flying by from where we were standing.
Which is not how it usually goes.
No, but once you got people loading and unloading, it's going to be a little bit different. We also did get our annual Passholder magnet because we had never picked up the Maleficent one. And also, we didn't go to Morocco where they have the new lounge. We didn't hit that. But we did go see Dopey in Germany.
Yeah, so you can go to the Germany Pavilion in the back right now.
If you're a pass holder.
If you're an annual pass holder, and you can meet Dopey. And the line it was not long at all. We waited, 5 minutes?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a cute little meet and greet. You go take a picture and you're done. But that is part of the annual pass holder offerings that they are doing this summer.
The VIP pass holder.
Yeah, and it was just a cute little meet and greet.
It is. It's a little fun. When they turned it, the little area kind of has essences of Snow White
like
and
a cottage
and everything.
Yeah.
I saw something really unique, though. The person who was, I think, directly in front of us, or maybe two in front of us, had Dopey sign a Funko Pop of Dopey. I've never seen anybody have a character sign a Funko Pop of themselves.
No.
And I thought, that's pretty. Being a collector still, I've never even thought to do that.
No, I'm surprised you never did, being that those used to be your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, huh?
I'm going to get a Dopey one and go have him sign it.
You're going to have sign it. You only have a limited amount of time to do that.
I know. I only have to the end of the month, don't I? End of July. I think.
Is it July?
I
don't know, because they have different things going. Like, they had certain promos for June, and then that ends, and then July has a whole thing. So it's almost like you have to double check it because something might have ended and something new started. You know?
Yeah, we're going to try to keep you updated on the Main Street Mouse with what's going on, and put out a blog today. We'll talk about it a little bit later, just about that actually. But I know there's all kinds of stuff that's happening still for it's nice to see Disney doing something for the annual pass holders like that. And I know in the Morocco Pavilion there's a lounge for pass holders, but they also have, I think it said water and snacks. So I'm not sure what exactly.
Yeah, we should have went back there too. It was hot.
We should have. We'll have to go back over there then. Check that out. And then again, we didn't do much Thursday, Friday again too hot. Saturday we ended up going over to Magic Kingdom.
In the evening, though, which is way smarter.
Way smarter. And we had been watching the app, and the ride wait times didn't seem that long. So we're like, okay, it must not be that busy. And when we got over there, there was inclement weather in the area. There was a sign that said there was no parking attendants, so please park yourselves.
Which was interesting.
So, of course, we went all the way as forward as we possibly could.
Yes, we did.
Parked in Zerg, which, if you know where that is, that's the...
We were right up front, and we
Yeah.
had the best parking spot.
It was, and we were right on the end of the aisle, so we were still closest to the entrance as we possibly could have been.
Yeah, so that part was nice.
That was nice. So we went in the Magic Kingdom and walked around in there. It didn't seem too busy when we got in there.
No, not really.
We were both hungry, so we went over to Sleepy Hollow, and you got the waffle with Nutella and the berries and the cream on
Yeah,
it.
they changed that waffle, by the way.
That waffle looked as thin as a Waffle House waffle.
It was thin as Waffle House. It's not the poofy waffles anymore.
Was it good, though?
I mean, yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It wasn't like Eggo quality, but it was flat.
Not
I
Eggo
do,
quality.
but you know what? I like Eggos. So
You do like Eggo.
I like blueberry Eggos. So, okay, I take that back because I would have eaten an Eggo too.
I had the corn dog. It was kind of greasy.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, usually I like the corn dogs, and usually they're not that great. This one was kind of greasy, so I'm not sure as to why. But it was still good. Chips were good. But then we still decided at that point we're just going to walk around a little bit and see things.
Yeah, we just kind of wandered. I mean, it just did the loop, I guess you could say. Like, that's what we always say. Let's do the loop. So we walk around.
And I find us always listening to conversations around us, which is always fun. Like we're walking past the mansion, and there's this guy and girl behind us, and he's sitting there going, and it says 35 minutes away. He's like, there is no way that's only 35 minutes. It's longer than 35 minutes. I know it's more than 35 minutes. As he's walking past it, it's like, why do you care? If you're not going to wait in line, why do you care, first off? But secondly, if it says 35, it's probably 25 to 30 usually.
Yeah, sometimes it's less than, but you can tell. I mean, but there's a difference between people that go to the parks all the time and people who don't, because, we've kind of, experimented with ride times, and either they're pretty spot on or it's less time.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was a lightning lane candidate probably, because if
he wasn't going to wait it. Yeah.
No.
And 35 is not bad for summertime.
Not at all.
Because some of those line times get really, really big.
When they get to 3 digits, like 120.
I'm like, no, and we won't do it. Flat out, we won't do it.
No.
There's no way.
No, not at all. But we continue just to walk around. I don't think we rode anything until later. We did eventually go on the mansion, but it was after fireworks.
Right.
We met Greg and Holly up there. They came up there, and we watched fireworks with them.
Back by Gaston's Tavern.
By Gaston's, which I put a short up of the finale of Happily Ever After. It's like 48-second clip I put up of I'm in front of Gaston's fountain, and you see his tavern in the background, but the fireworks are right over his shoulder, so to speak. So
and actually, it's a very nice area back there because there's nobody back there.
There's seats.
You can see the fireworks behind you, and then you can, of course, see what's going on at the castle. The only thing you can't see is the projections.
Right.
But it's kind of like, again, if you're a frequent park goer and you've seen Happily Ever After from the front so many times, then it's a good option.
And you know what the projections are. If you've seen it as many times as we have, you can do the whole show in your head because you know what's happening at each song.
Yeah.
Lyric.
And you're away from that crowd because, especially in the summertime when it is hot, the last thing you want to be is elbow to elbow with a bunch of people in front of the castle.
And we noticed people were lined up for it probably an hour and a half before.
Yeah.
People were lined up before 8 o'clock, and it was a 9:20 showing that night. Which I was kind of shocked. And there was a lot of... So when we got to the park, did not look that busy. And then I was looking around the hub area, and I was like, okay, they're pretty busy. But when we went back to Gaston's, and we've been back there before for fireworks, and there's usually some people back there. There was honestly nobody. There was a couple people who wandered to the bathrooms back there, but that was about it. Nobody was.
Yeah, there was nobody even in the bathrooms. Because we watched it from the Rapunzel area, we watched it from Haunted Mansion, we've watched from Tomorrowland. So behind the castle, we've watched from various places, and this just was a really nice spot.
It was nice. It was peaceful. Like you said, not a lot of people back there. It was no people but us, the 4 of us, actually. We kind of had our own rule of what we wanted to do back there and stand where we wanted to.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And you still get to hear the music. You still get the fireworks. You get the gist of everything.
You get the gist of it. So we got done with that, and because we know after fireworks that's when everybody starts leaving, we're like, you know what, let's go ride the mansion, because we still had probably 20 minutes before the park closed. So we went and we rode the mansion.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Always a good time.
Love the mansion. At nighttime, it's so much better because your eyes don't have to readjust because it's very dark, so your eyes are used to the dark. So when you get in there, it seems for some reason you see it better.
You really do.
Yeah, I like that a lot better at nighttime.
Except, again, I keep judging because we just got back from Disneyland a month ago, and I keep judging and comparing. our mansion to Disneyland's because Disneyland's is better and it's bigger and it's a whole thing. And you know what? I sound like a spoiled brat because, like, I love the Haunted Mansion.
I love our mansion. So.
I do too, but I critique now because Hatbox is in a better spot out at Disneyland. Their bride is cooler.
The new bride is
the
cooler.
new bride is pretty awesome. Just the setup is different, and I keep telling people, like, if you haven't been to Disneyland, go.
Yeah.
And when you go, make sure you do the mansion and you do Pirates for sure.
Yes, those two are a must do. And even Big Thunder out there is a lot different than our Big Thunder.
Yeah.
So you have to check. And their Space Mountain's different because you ride side by side.
True. Okay, yeah, so there are some differences.
Yeah.
But the mansion is awesome. It's still my favorite regardless of what
yeah.
park it's at. But then we walked, when we got out, it was pretty bare in the back of the park until you got towards Main Street.
Yeah, and then Main Street had all the people taking pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it was still, like, we were shocked because when we left the park, and now we stayed back, we went on the mansion, we took our time. Oh my gosh. So we walk up there and the line for the monorail and the line for the ferry boat was like nightmarish.
They were blocking the exit areas where people normally would walk right out of the park through the turnstiles there.
Yeah.
You could not walk out in certain areas because there was people stacked
Mm-mm.
all the way. It almost looked like a mini 4th of July.
Yeah, no, 4th of July is way
4th
worse.
of July is
but it reminded me of
It
that,
did.
about how there's no good way to get the heck out of there. There's just
No.
not.
So we came up with the brilliant decision of, you know what, let's take the path. We'll walk the path to Grand Floridian. And then originally the talk was we would jump on the monorail there and take it
Yeah.
the TTC, even though we'd be going back where we just walked through. But anyway, but we ended up just walking the entire route. So they were bringing in the
electrical pageant.
Water pageant was being pulled in, so we had to wait for that bridge to be put back over.
So it was a good idea until we got stuck at the bridge and then we had to wait a while.
Like about 20 minutes.
And then it got crowded there too.
Yeah, because nobody could get across.
Nobody could get across.
It started getting stacked up right there with everybody waiting to get across. But eventually we got it through. The walk really is not that bad.
It's not. I actually enjoyed it.
It's long.
It's long, but I enjoyed it because you're by the water and you walk, through the hotels and whatever else. And to me, honestly, it was better than standing in a sweaty mob of people waiting for the boat or for the monorail.
Yeah, it's going to take you a little bit longer than if you're willing to wait.
But if you have
how uncomfortable are you?
Yeah, if you have claustrophobia issues or you get anxiety in crowds, take the walk.
Yeah.
Because it's honestly, you're burning more calories. I would definitely do it again. I just can't see, I'm getting a tight chest thinking about standing in all those people for the ferry or for the monorail because it gives me such like feeling.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that you can take that path. So the path, it's advertised it goes to the Grand Floridian, but then there's a path from the Floridian to the Poly.
Yep.
Then from the Poly to the TTC.
Yep.
And right there, you're back to where the monorail or the boat would have dropped you off, and you can get to the parking lot to your cars or buses.
True. And so if we had a close parking spot like we did the other night, I would definitely walk it again. Now, if we were parked back in Rapunzel, I would not probably want to do that.
And that's another one. So it's like the hero side of Magic Kingdom's parking lot is a pain in the butt.
I hate heroes.
Unless you're leaving the Polynesian, because you can take that cut across that the
Yep.
employees take to go up into Woody's lot. And they
Listen, we have all
there's
the
all kinds of
options.
you learn all these little tricks after you've lived here for a while.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the walk until my legs didn't start to hurt until we got in the Poly, I would say when we got to the Poly.
We hit the air conditioning of the Poly, and that's like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, I know. When we left the building, I was like, okay, now I'm starting to hurt, and we were exhausted.
We were exhausted. Yesterday, Sunday it was rough. We were so tired, and the only thing that was really added, I mean, granted, we were out in the heat for hours, but the only thing that was really added was that long walk.
And that walk, kicked our butts because Holly texted me yesterday morning, and she was like, "Are you as exhausted?" She said, "Because we're exhausted just from that."
And I don't get it because we can go into a park and we can walk 12 hours in a park all day, and it's not that big of a deal.
No.
But we take a walk from the Magic Kingdom to the parking lot, and we're wiped out. It's like we
oh
were at
my
a Halloween
God.
party.
Yeah, but you know what though? I would do it again. And especially with the 4th of July coming up and trying to decide if we're going to do parks or what we're going to do.
Right.
Yeah, getting out of the Magic Kingdom at night is terrible. And I would rather walk and make myself a little tired than deal with that mess.
Oh, yeah. Or the other option is to get a reservation to have dinner at either the Poly Contemporary or Grand Floridian so you can park there, then go to the park.
They make it so difficult now. But, yeah. So it was, all in all, it ended up being a fine night. And I was kind of glad that we took that walk because it was something different.
Well, we've talked about it. We've just never done it before.
No, I think we've walked it one time when they first opened it.
Did we?
One time. It was in the daytime.
Oh, okay.
And I think maybe we only walked to the Floridian. I don't think we kept going.
No, I don't think
Well,
so.
you know what? No, because I remember us looking at the wedding pavilion, but now the wedding pavilion is gated off.
It is. The gates were locked.
The gates are locked now, so you can't even walk up and peek in the windows.
Yeah, I guess from what I heard, there was people that were going in there and they shouldn't have been going in there.
But yeah, so yeah, some influencers kept going and taking pictures and doing that when they're not supposed to, and it kind of ruined it. So
They always ruin everything.
you ruin everything.
Ruined it.
But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Hashtag ruined it. But anyway, so that was our week. That's all we did. But again, it's been hot. We haven't done much. This week, I'm sure we'll get out. We have some stuff coming up this week, which I was going to just touch on. That we have a media event on Saturday for
Flavors of Florida.
Flavors of Florida that'll take place at the Disney Springs. We were invited by the Patina group to come out there and sample some of their food options they're going to be offering for flavors.
Which I'm all about sampling food options.
All about the food. I do the food, you do the drinks, we're good to go.
Oh my gosh. I'll do the food if it's not if it's something I'll eat.
Like I said, I do the food, she'll do the drinks. And then on Monday, we have another media event for Test Track.
We do, that we just found out about today that Monday morning. But they are starting cast member previews on Friday. And they're allowed to take photos. So I like it better this time because a lot of times they'll make media wait till closer to when it starts. And then the information is already out there, and then it's kind of hard for us to report because everybody's already seen it. So it'll be better view-wise for our audience if we can get there and get it to but yeah, so watch for all that stuff.
Yeah, so Monday, as soon as you get the video done, I will get it uploaded, and then we can get it shared out to everybody so they can see everything with the ride.
If you want spoilers.
And we'll get the queue. We'll get everything that there is that's going to go with this.
Of course we will.
Every time Test Track changes up, people get excited to see what's new about it.
But then you don't hear much about it after that. It's very strange.
And again, going back to Disneyland, so their version of what we call Test Track is Radiator Springs Racers.
Which is a way better ride.
Which is what Test Track was originally supposed to be like.
Right.
And it did not even
Disneyland wins on that one.
Disneyland destroys them.
Yeah.
Because that is probably one of my favorite rides to do because it's so much fun and you go right into the movie.
They have the life-size characters and it's just a really good ride. I'm hoping that this Test Track will be something that people will be interested in. It's just like one of those things. There's certain rides that you just don't hear chatter about.
No, you do them once or a couple times and you're like, okay.
I don't know if the newness wears off but it's not like the classic rides. Like, there's certain like Space Mountain and all that stuff people continue to talk about a lot, but there's some that just don't get that same thing. Yeah. And I think Test Track was one of them. But depending on what they do to it, it might have a revival.
I hope so. I mean, the last one seemed like it was just a big car commercial.
Yeah.
From the beginning to end, because even when you get off the ride, you walk through like basically a car dealership.
And we never went on it, really.
No, we rode it a couple times when it first opened.
We were like, okay, we've done it. And even like the boys didn't, and they like that car type of stuff.
Aiden loves cars.
And he didn't even ask to go after a while. He's like, okay, yeah, we did it.
I mean, it had some fun parts, but it wasn't something I was willing to wait in line for.
Nah.
So if it was a walk-on, I probably would have done it more, but being that it was never just a walk-on,
Yeah, well, we'll see. We're going to find out next week.
We will. We'll see how it goes. Just a couple more notes. We were mentioning these last week, but I just want to keep you guys informed. Tom Sawyer Island, Lilly, Belle, Riverboat, last day to ride or to go to the island or ride the boat is July 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting close to that one. That will be closed July 7th. The Boneyard at Animal Kingdom will be closing on September 2nd. Starlight Parade debuts July 20th, which the hype is really starting to take up for that one. It's starting to get exciting. even though we were just talking about Test Track, it does open July 22nd, so we still have about a month till that's officially opened to the public. And then Hall of Presidents, we still have not heard of an opening date for that.
No opening date yet.
But it's still a great place if you need air conditioning.
Heck yeah, it
The
is.
lobby area is fantastic for AC and seating.
That's right. If you need a break, if you're starting to feel warm, go sit in there for a few minutes because it really does help.
And you can get a Powerade or a bottle of water at the walk-up booth right by it.
Which is exactly what we did the last time that we were having issues because it's hot. And that's another thing. I'm just going to put out a public service announcement. You know, if you are not from here or if you are from here, the heat is brutal, especially during the day at the theme parks.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we have seen, you know, people get sick in the parks, you know, stretchers having to be brought in because it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you have to go in a store or Hall of Presidents or whatever to give yourself a timeout, do that because, you know, yeah, you're at Disney, yeah, you're having a good time, but nothing is worth you getting sick over. Because I've had it happen to me even when I'm careful.
Right. There's too many places where you can go and escape the heat, even just for a little bit. I mean, Carousel Progress is an excellent one that's never usually sold or completely filled, but you can go in there and it's a 25-minute ride around and you get air conditioning. And it's great.
It's just not worth it because I know I wasn't feeling well. This was last week when we got off of the boat.
Right.
And I told you, I said, I'm not doing so great. And we got Powerade and we went and sat in Hall of Presidents for about 15 minutes and I was fine.
You were fine. You were able to get out of the park without any issues. We got back to the car.
But I was proactive about it instead of waiting and keep saying, because normally I'm stubborn and I'll be like, I'm fine.
And sadly, a lot of people are like that. And I think it's because I've paid so much money to be here. I don't want to take 20 minutes to rest. However, if you pass out, if you get sick or any of that,
your whole day's ruined.
Whole day's ruined. Because once something like that happens, it's hard to rebound.
It is that heat exhaustion is rough. And, you know, and I've even seen like on different places on social media or the news and whatever, where people tell you, like, people put graphics out, like what to watch for as far as like difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke.
Right.
And, you know, these different things. So all I'm saying is if you're going to be doing the parks, just be super careful to go to the AC if you need to, because you don't want to get sick.
And dress appropriately. Don't wear jeans and boots and long sleeve shirts if you're going to go spend the whole day in a park.
Well, some people do.
Oh, I know.
But then you got people that go the opposite route and wear booty shorts and it's super. Nobody wants to see your ass.
I like wearing those.
Don't be like Scott. Nobody wants to see them cheeks.
It's comfortable. I don't care what you say. You go on Tiana's, you're cool for the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hopefully we just give everybody a laugh.
I was talking about you, but all right.
So there's Michelle's PSA. This is brought to you by the Main Street Mouse.
Yeah. Not worth your health.
Not worth your health. I'm just going to quickly run through the news stories. Some of them we've already kind of touched on a little bit, but I'll still run through them all. Again, in the show notes, there'll be a link to each one of these articles to where you can go and read more about it and get the full details. First thing that we put out after last week was Disney Springs Flavors of Florida, the snacks, drinks, and more. So it was kind of like the menu of what the different restaurants are going to be offering.
There's a lot of key lime this year.
A lot of key lime this year. And you're a big key lime fan.
I like key lime desserts and I like key lime cocktails.
There's a lot of them, though. There's like probably 6 of them.
And I like, so as far as key lime pie goes, I like it when it is like thicker and harder, almost like a cheesecake. Okay. I don't like if it's runny and gooey. It's got to be like a thicker type of cake or pie.
It's got to have some substance to it.
Yeah. I don't like
fluffy.
it when it's like, I don't like it when it's like runny.
Okay.
But yeah, they do have a lot of different key lime
milkshakes, drinks.
Ice cream.
Yes.
So I'm all about that. But of course, like over at Swirls on the Water, they have an orange bird cone with orange Dole Whip also. So it's really a lot of orange, a lot of key lime, but they have different different things with Florida flavor to them.
And that's what I was going to say for those that you don't know. Flavors of Florida is where they incorporate things that are grown or brought in Florida to the recipes. So oranges, key lime, like you said, lemon.
Strawberries.
There's a lot of seafood used in a lot of the dishes because they get the shrimp and they get different fish and such.
Yeah, which I won't eat.
Which you don't eat. It's a lot of corn. Corn's another one that they...
Yeah, but if you like desserts and if you like cocktails, this is your thing.
It's a great little festival. It really... Or not even a festival. It's just
different places where you can find out, like, what restaurants are offering what. And some restaurants are only offering, like, Like here's a new ice cream flavor.
Right.
Or you can go here and get this drink, but they don't really have anything else. So you have to look. But
it doesn't take over.
No, it doesn't take over like the establishments. It's just little bits here and there.
Right. And it's great. We've gone to it the last few years, and
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it every time. So
Well, I like to snack. So
exactly.
sadly.
Article you put out last week was more information dropped about the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie coming.
Oh yeah.
So it was Orlando Bloom, I think you said.
Yeah. Okay. So Orlando Bloom did an interview recently.
Will Turner.
Who was Will Turner, and there had been talks about a script. Well, there's been talks for a Pirate 6 for a long time,
Right.
but Jerry Bruckheimer said that we will see some old familiar faces in addition to newer people for it.
Right.
And Orlando Bloom said he'd be on board for it, and as he put it, it's time to get the band back together.
Right.
And I know Johnny Depp originally had said no way, but there are talks that he could come back as Captain Jack. So
maybe not being the full movie about his character, but
we don't know.
we don't
that.
know. I know. So the rumor's always been Bruckheimer said he wouldn't do it unless Johnny was in the film.
Yeah.
And then I know, because we know a handful of pirates from the House of Mouse
We
Expo.
know some pirates.
They've all told us that
They all felt the same way.
they felt the same way, that Johnny has to be a part of the film in order to have the same feel that the other movies had. And honestly, he was the draw for all 5 of the movies that are out there.
Well, God, yeah. And I think that's what's been the hang up, because and you got to remember, okay, sidebar, Disney did Johnny Depp wrong.
They never apologized.
They never apologized, for what had happened, and he was vindicated in court. He didn't deserve all the flack that he got. So as far as if we're going to go being, bitter, I don't blame him.
No, and he doesn't need the money.
Well, God, no, he doesn't need
It'd
the
be
money.
different for if he was an actor who was struggling and
But
needed
it's Johnny
that.
Depp.
He does not need it. And Universal did the same thing though with
Yeah,
the
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beast movies, that they quickly went to judgment and they said, "Oh, we can't have you because of this, this, and this." But when he was found not guilty in a court of law, they could have reached out, apologized, and said, "You know what? We were wrong. We shouldn't have jumped the gun."
There should have been a lot of backtracking and apologies that I don't know if he ever received. But there is chatter that he would be back. And speaking of Johnny Depp, this week he was in Spain, and he went to the Children's Hospital again, dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
So, like, he hasn't like chucked that character to the side, because he made that character.
He made that character, and he knows the smiles it brings to these kids who are sick.
Oh my God! And I watched some of the video. Oh my gosh, he was so good with them and these kids that are struggling, and some of them terminal, and the fact that he went in and did little jokes with them and sat with them.
Goes right into character.
Right into character, and it was fantastic. So in my humble opinion, I really do hope if they're going to go forward, they need to bring some of the originals back, and I will not go see it without Johnny Depp.
No,
I won't.
I'm not giving him my money.
And a lot of other Disney fans have said the same thing, because I have read comments, and they're like, if they don't bring him back, it's going to bomb. But okay, speaking of bombs, all right. So Elio came out this week.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So it did not do well at the box office. It actually was
Worst Pixar film ever at the box office, or in 28 years, whatever that is.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. Now, I have read people that have saw early screenings of the movie and reviewed it, said that it is an amazing movie. They said that it is very heart touching, like old Pixar. Okay,
right.
But the marketing wasn't there for this one.
They focused too much on Stitch.
Everything was about Stitch. And I think the marketing wasn't there. I think people are looking at previous Pixar movies that did not do well, and they thought, well, I'm not going to go see this either.
I'll wait till Disney Plus or on.
Yeah. Because it's almost like a gamble, because some of the animated things that have gone out have not been good.
Right.
But so I have a point, I swear. There's like a vicious cycle here, because people say, I want new original movies, But then they're like, well, a lot of these originals have been terrible, so I'm not going to go see them.
Right.
So do you want them or do you not? It's
Yeah.
almost like you're going to have to give it a chance to see if they can get back on track. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying that they were disappointed that it did so poorly at the box office because it actually isn't a bad movie.
Yeah, I heard that it was pretty good. Also, they talked about it at D23 when we were there on the Friday night, where they talked about the whole movie showcase, and that was one of the ones. And they actually brought out the little boy who plays the voice of Elio, as well as Zoe Saldana, who is, I think it's his aunt in the movie, but she's like the main female character of the movie. And they came out, and the clips and stuff they showed us, that was early on, of course, but it looked great. But yeah, it's a double-edged circle, because double-edged sword. People have spent money to see some of these movies, and they were just
Yeah.
They were like, they should have just gone to Disney Plus. They shouldn't have been to the theaters. But yeah, I get it. They want new, but they're not willing to give it, because they've already spent money on 3 or 4 movies that have bombed. Why do you want me to spend money again until I know for sure?
Yeah, and I think Disney needs to learn to read the room.
Yes.
Because, I saw something this week, and yes, I'm going to be judgy, and I don't care right now because I read comments, and I'm not the only one.
Right.
Okay, so what's her face? Rachel Zegler, who was
your buddy.
Who was, the Snow White that everybody decided is no go. Okay, no white.
Right.
And she sang somewhere as Evita, like "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
Oh, really?
The whole thing. Holy cannoli! People ripped this girl. Okay. And Disney's like, oh, look at Snow White. It's our Snow White. And people are like, stop trying to make this girl happen.
Right.
Like, it's okay to, take it on the chin, accept your losses. It's okay.
Yep.
Because that one is dead in the water, and it's not coming back. It's just not.
It's funny you mentioned that one. So I was when I was looking for news stuff today, and I came across an article that talked about how the Broadway Frozen that's on Disney Plus now is the #1 streaming thing on Disney Plus right now.
Okay.
It knocked Snow White out of the #1 thing. And the article I read, which I think was from Screen Rant, said the reason Snow White was #1 is because of all the people that wanted to see what all the hype was about in March and April as to why people were so outraged about the movie. They said it wasn't #1 because people wanted to see the film.
No, they were curious,
They
and
were
people were
curious to
still
see it.
trashing it.
I mean, yes, there's people who probably love the movie. I'm not going to take anything away
I'm
from
sure
those
some.
people. But the majority of people were curious as to why it was getting so much backlash when it was out, and now they can see it for free if they pay for Disney Plus.
Right. I just think that Disney has to, again, like, there's no reason or any excuse these days. You wanna have your hand on the pulse of the Disney community. All you have to do is go read comments. People will definitely tell you how they feel. And Disney fans as a whole have been very vocal, especially since the parks reopened, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And movies haven't been what they were.
Right.
People are very opinionated, but honest, sometimes a little mean, but very honest in what they're looking for and what they would like to see from Disney. And I really wish that somebody would be paying attention to that, because I do think that there's ways, whether it's the parks, whether it's movies, whether it's TV, whether it's whatever, that people are flat out telling them what they would like to see,
And they're not doing it.
and they're just not. And I think that sometimes you can't force it.
Right.
Like, people just like, classic things. They like the parks, and change. And here again, change is something that has to happen. They can't keep all the old stuff in the parks, which I understand.
Right.
But so they can't listen to everybody all the time. Like people that had petitions about different rides closing.
You can do the majority.
Yeah, but some things they can, but some things they can't. But the things that you can, oh my gosh, they're always sending surveys. They send surveys out to guests all the time when they go to the parks.
Yep.
Yeah, you go to the park, you're going to get a survey. Like, if they would just listen to what people are saying, I think it would be better for the company. And you got a lot of people that are mad at Disney because of all the changes. Like, I wish Disney has been something that's been in my heart since I was a kid. I would like to, I don't want to see it tarnished. I don't want to see people angry or losing that magic, because to kids like me, it was important. It was part of our upbringing, and it's something that I still love. I mean, there's times that, you know, I see something Disney-wise or whatever, and I still get a tear. I still, you know, because it's I love it so much.
Right.
But people are getting disillusioned, disenchanted, something with the whole thing, and I just wish Disney could wrangle that in.
Yeah,
you know?
it's happened a lot with a lot of. So Marvel, it's happened with.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since the Infinity Saga ended.
Even Star Wars has been kind of
Star Wars has been struggling.
Decline.
And it makes you wonder why. You know, why did they change everything? Because you would think Feige ran Marvel, you know, Kathleen Kennedy ran Lucas. So it's like, why did those two also go kind of down when Pixar and Disney Studios kind of went down a little bit also with what they were putting out?
Yeah,
So
like,
it makes you wonder why who's telling everybody, okay, let's do this. And I think Disney Plus kind of hurt the movie industry.
Oh, you and me both.
Because some movies they just send to Disney Plus. Some they turn into 8-part sitcom on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's actually hurt. I know they're making a fortune off of Disney Plus. I get it. They've got millions of subscribers who are paying whatever it is per month to be on Disney Plus and see these films and such.
Yeah.
But the top 3 movies on Disney Plus, when I looked today, was the Broadway version of Frozen, which it's Broadway. A lot of people can't go see that on Broadway, so this is the way
Fair
they can
enough,
see it.
yeah.
Number 2 was Snow White, and number 3 was Captain America, Brave New World. And it's
really?
like Snow White, I think a lot of it is because people are curious. Brave New World, not a lot of Marvel fans were happy with that film.
No, but I think we'll take it a step further. I think because of the shutdowns, like COVID ruined our society.
It really did.
It ruined the world as far as like. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, again, follow me again. During the lockdowns, us and everybody else, we were so sick of being in the house. We could not wait to get out of here, to go to a restaurant again.
Anywhere, yeah.
Anywhere. Just let me go somewhere, all right? I miss the movies. I miss going out to eat. I miss doing this, you know, being out in society.
Right.
However, we also got reliant on carryout. We got relying on watching movies at home. You know, so a lot of people, even though we wanted to get out so badly at the time, we also kind of got used to the convenience of watching things from our couch.
And think of how many streaming services have come up since COVID.
Oh, yeah. It used to be just like Netflix.
It was Netflix. You had Disney
Plus,
which was still kind of new.
Yeah.
But you didn't have HBO Max. You didn't have all these different Paramount's one. There's now every channel has their own streaming service, and so many of them are conjoined. They've band together to.
Well, yeah, because like even the other night we were looking for something to watch, and I saw the same TV shows on different streaming, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was over there.
Your Natalia Grace one that you wanted to watch, the sitcom, or not the sitcom, but the drama
series
we watched. That's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, which I didn't know.
I
and
mean,
like some of my TLC shows were on. I know you can see them on Max, but I saw them somewhere else too.
Because Max and Disney joined forces.
Ah.
It makes sense. Get more movies and more content in one space, and then they split. More people sign up for it.
Yeah, because I was wondering why like 90 Day Fiancé and 1,000 Pound Sisters was not just where the TLC stuff is. But anyway, my whole point is that, you know, it's almost like you always want what you don't have. And but I'm going to say, maybe I'm old school. I miss going to the movies. I
love going to the movies.
I don't want to watch movies from home like that, especially if it's something that's new and popular. I want to sit in a theater with the surround sound and the screen and the popcorn and being out of the house. And that's struggling.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe another reason why, you know, this Pixar movie didn't do that great, because a lot of people are like, maybe I don't want to drag my kids out to the theater. I'll wait till, because in a month it's going to be, and it's going to be on TV. So I understand. I get all the problems. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I have no idea what the answer is. Like you just said, though, I love going to movies.
Me too.
But
we never do.
The last few movies that have come out that normally, when Captain America came out, I would normally throw in my money opening night or the fan night the night before. I didn't pay to go see it. I waited. I saw it on the Delta plane on the way to Anaheim.
Anaheim, yeah.
Thunderbolts. I wanted to see Thunderbolts. And then I saw it and I was disappointed. And I think because I wanted it to be like the rest of the Marvel movies that I love, Fantastic Four better knock it out of the park.
Oh boy.
Because if it doesn't, I'm not
You're
sure
gonna
where
be
I'll be.
upset.
I'm not sure where I'll be with Marvel because
And he loves Marvel.
I do. Marvel's my favorite. I would give up Star Wars, Disney, and Pixar in a heartbeat if I could just have great Marvel.
And you used to be that Star Wars was your number one, and over the years it switched to Marvel, but you don't want them to screw up the franchise.
No, and that's what I must say. A lot of people agree with me. Disney screwed up Star Wars for many years. And now, even though Disney helped create the Marvel universe of what it is, somebody in the powers that be is screwing it up.
Yeah, because Marvel fans are like, they jumped the shark. What happened?
Yeah, Marvel fans are as big as Star Wars fans, I would think. Maybe Star Wars fans are a little bit bigger, but I mean, Marvel fans are just like that. Harry Potter fans, they're huge.
Yeah, everybody has a fandom.
Their fandoms are humongous. And it's like, if you have a model that works, stick with it.
Right.
Don't break it. You know, they used to always say, oh, if Marvel gets away from their, or people said they were getting tired of the Marvel theming for all the films. But then when they switched it, people hated it. And it's like, okay, we'll go back to that then. Go back to what was working that we as fans loved.
Maybe that's the bottom line for all of this. Stick with what works.
Until it doesn't work.
Right.
And then when it breaks, then go from there
Then
to
fix it. But don't break it.
Don't break it to have to then fix it.
Yeah, like what am I supposed to do now?
Okay, well, we got to get moving here. We're at 50 minutes and we still got our discussion yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right, sorry.
Okay. So that was Pirates of the Caribbean. Next was 2025 Disney Junior's Let's Play Tour and Dates event guide was put out. That was our press release we were sent in. Thunderbolts is going to be coming to streaming services in July, I believe it is. And I read something today about this, that Marvel is still going forward with Thunderbolts, the new Avengers.
Yeah.
So on the cover of the Blu-ray and DVD, it's going to say New Avengers.
Oh.
They're putting that written in there, even though it's like the biggest running joke with Thunderbolts, that these are the new Avengers. It's kind of a joke they're putting out there. And they're even carrying it on to the DVD and Blu-ray, which is kind of funny. Then we put out a couple articles about Starlight that had come out, what's new in the parade and what Starlight's all about. So you kind of gave a explanation of what it all is.
Yeah, and how it's starting from the front of the park instead of the back.
Yes, that's the other article we have in there, the start times and the route. The route is the opposite of Festival of Fantasy.
It sure is,
The
which is
opposite.
going to be interesting to see.
It is. And then another one we had put out about that was an article had come out showing some of how they're making the floats and how they created the music and such for this. So it's pretty cool stuff to read about with that. Disney and Pixar's Elio lands in the parks worldwide. So yeah, they brought Elio to the parks at Tomorrowland. You can see him at the, what's the name of that? Anti-Gravity?
Anti-Gravity is like right there.
That
Yeah.
area. They have Elio stuff over there. Last week on Friday at Spooky Empire here in Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights, the powers that be for that event, were there to do a panel, and they also announced the first house for this year that's not a franchise house.
Their original houses,
First original house, and it was El Artista, Spanish Haunting, which it's about an artist who goes into the house and the portraits and everything are haunted and takes him through that life. So we're going to see more about that house as we get closer. New character, Warm Fuzzy line, Stitch, Pooh, and Cheshire. I believe this is Scentsy.
Yes.
Is that correct? Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so as of today, there are 3 new little Scentsy warmers that are really, really cute, and they're very different. If you go to our Facebook page or check our stories, there's a link there if you want to check them out.
Okay. And I'll update the website with the pictures on the Scentsy warmer, because I think right now it's Cinderella's carriage still.
Oh, God, yeah, that's no longer.
I put out an article. I found this interesting over the weekend about Chalk Walk in the Park presented by Disneyland, and it's a you raise money to do a walk through Disneyland and California Adventure to raise money for children's hospitals out there and children battling cancer and stuff. And this is a way that you can contribute and give money to this charity. And also, depending on how much money you raise, they have all kinds of different incentive programs that you can actually get. For raising $375, I think you get a ticket to go to the parks for the full day.
Oh, okay.
So it's a great little thing. So if you want to read more about that in the show notes, celebrate summer with Moana at Disney's Ocean Party. So this is just about how Moana is taking over a lot of things for the summer. It's just new merchandise and things like that with Moana branding on it. Summer fun, make your own Olaf ice cream dessert. You put out a recipe thing you put out there.
You want to make little Olafs at home.
So if you like Olaf's, there you go. Today, broke that Walt Disney World has a new reservation searching system for dining options, which we put this one out.
Which is going to be nice.
This is so much nicer. So if you've ever been like me and you're sitting there and you go, you know what, we want to eat at Liberty Tree Tavern and we're going to be in town from Tuesday to Friday and we want to go about 5:30. And you go to Tuesday and there's nothing available. And then you go to Wednesday, there's nothing. You got to put the criteria in every time you go to the new day. Now what you can do is you can go into the app, put the dates you're going to be in Disney World, put where you want to eat, like the vicinity of where it is. So you'd put Magic Kingdom Park, obviously, for that one. And it will bring up all the opening reservations for that restaurant for the whole time period you put in there. So
Yeah,
you're
so
not
it's going to be easier to search.
so much easier to see what's available. I know every time we go out to Disneyland, we always want to eat the Blue Bayou. And it's such a pain in the butt to check it because that one sells out so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Reservations are gone. But with this way, you'd be able to put your dates in there. There's no openings the whole time there. Okay, bummed I can't go, but at least I know for sure I've checked every time possible. And you can keep checking.
Right.
That way it's a lot quicker. So check it out. Let us know what you guys think. We on the post in the Facebook, let us know what you guys think about this. And then another HHN announcement came out today. Hatchets and Chains, Demon Bounty Hunters. So last year they had Sinister Cinema was one of the houses, and it has a lot of little houses within this one big house. This is one of the little houses that was part of that from last year.
An expansion on last year's house.
Yes, and they've done that before in the past with the Yeti Campground one. That was one that was in Sinister Cinema 1, so this is another one. So I'll be interested to see what that one looks like. So hopefully we will be there for the media night and we get all the coverage of HHN.
We shall see.
At least I will be there. You won't be.
I will not.
Okay, so we want to get to our discussion part, so that's why I kind of ran through those a little bit quicker. But if you paid attention to any of our social media in the last couple of weeks, Michelle's been putting out there that we've been in Florida now 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
We moved here last Thursday. Michelle's Daydream Believing podcast, she had me on it, and we talked about being down here for the 11 years. And
what it was like to make that decision.
Yes. But what we're going to talk about now a little bit is we want to talk about the good and bad about living so close to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of pros and cons. So I was always that person that was like, I want to move to Florida. I want to be near Walt Disney World. And it was something that I've wanted since before I had kids. Like, I always, Florida was like a dream place for me. So it wasn't just about the parks.
No, but you realize a lot of the stuff you think, because you've only been here on vacation.
Right.
So it's like, oh, yeah, this is not a big deal, not a big deal. But when you live here, it's completely different.
Your perspective will change as a local, as opposed to a visitor. Because if you've been listening to our show for how long? I mean, we've been doing this for quite a while. And our perspective, sometimes we have to reel it back in because we're talking from a local standpoint sometimes. And then we have to keep in mind that, we're also speaking to people that vacation here. I think for me, one of the biggest, as far as, what's the word? Something that I didn't think about, thoroughly. So when we moved here that first summer, I mean, the kids are out of school. We're able to put more into the Main Street Mouse. We had a great summer going to the parks. And then August hit, and school started way earlier here than it did up north.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we got smacked with reality. Okay, so the most wonderful summer ever is over. It's not funsies anymore. Now things get real.
Yeah, because we would, because both boys were in elementary school and Andrew was getting ready to start middle school. But we still had to drop them off every morning because we didn't have a bus to the school they went to. So we'd get up, take them to
school line at the end of the day.
And then we had to pick them up at the end of the day, every day, waiting in that school line, which you never anticipated that line could be. You want to get to that line an hour before school gets out, otherwise you're going to be there forever.
It's very different down here. Plus, you know how much things cost down here. And
how long it takes to get anywhere down here.
Good Lord, yes.
I remember when we first moved here, probably a month or so, I had to go get gas for our lawnmower. Now, we literally lived 10 minutes. Off a World Drive. You could be World Drive in about 10 minutes. I had to go get gas for our mower. And I must have hit a bad time of day. It took me almost 40 minutes to go up to the gas station, get gas, and come back. And I got home, and you're like, where have you been? I'm Like, just
I was
go get
worried. I'm
gas.
thinking, did he get in an accident or something?
It just took forever to get there because traffic is so. Lights are 3 minutes long here. If you get
Or
stuck,
longer.
or longer if you get stuck through a couple of them. And I remember one of our neighbors when we first moved here, we were talking to them. And they're like, "Oh yeah, when you hit a light, you pull out your mail, you do your nails, you do all this." She had all this stuff that she does when she's at a light because they take
Balance your
forever.
checkbook.
We used to do that sitting in the school line to pick up the kids because we'd be sitting there forever.
Oh my gosh, I could get a whole blog out sitting in the school line waiting. I could work from the car. And how expensive things are here and how much it takes to, get a household started when you first move here and, deposits and bills and all these things. Like, I guess it was fun. But when reality hit, it hit hard.
It did. And it was stressful.
And it was very stressful. And it's so much more expensive to live here than it was up in the Midwest, in Michigan. And another thing, like, as opposed to that you would see differently as far as vacationing and or living here, is you don't lose your love of Disney, but the excitement isn't quite as there when you go to the parks. Now, I
agree.
I love Magic Kingdom. It's been my favorite park since I was like 6. Sometimes I have to pull myself back and put myself in check. Like the other night, how like we're standing in front of the castle waiting for the crowds to clear a little bit, and you just have a moment like, how cool is this? That we live 10 minutes from property,
right?
And a lot of these people have to go home tomorrow or whatever.
That's why they take 2 million pictures.
Yeah, there was these people that took so many pictures. It was really cute.
But that was you before we lived
here. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I think they had me beat them.
They might have had you beat.
Yeah, they had me beat.
Their daughter was done.
Oh my gosh, these people
4 or 5
took
years old.
so many pictures, and the little girl, she was probably like 5 or 6, and she was just over it. Like
you could tell she'd been there all
They
day.
took like 70 pictures of her already, and they let her sit down, and they're like, okay, get back up for more, and she just didn't even smile.
She had her arms crossed.
She was like, I'm done with you people.
And she wasn't being bad. You could just tell she was tired and she wanted to be
over
done and over it. So it was kind of funny. That was our amusement to kind of watch that.
And then it was just really funny. But there's just a difference. Like but here's what makes it really weird is that we can go to the parks, and a lot of times it's work for us, and that is why. Because being in the entertainment business, in the media business, like, we're supposed to be having our eyes open to what's new and what's going
always
on
stage.
But when we do a staycation, it feels like vacation. Like, if we let's say if we stay at a Disney hotel overnight or 2 nights or whatever, to walk in the room and see your name on the TV screen, and we'll even take like Disney transportation. We'll take the Skyliner. That feels like vacation.
You take advantage of everything they offer.
Right, but that feels like vacation. But a normal Tuesday for us going to the parks is not exciting because we're like, okay, we got to go see, is there any new merchandise? Is there, like we went over to Epcot purposely to see the Test Track sign. Like, you're not going for funsies, you're going for work.
And one thing I will say, definitely, once you become a local as opposed to being a vacationer, you look at those wait times a lot differently.
Oh God, yeah.
30 minutes for no. I can come back and ride it next time. So a time when you're on vacation, like, oh my gosh, it's only 30 minutes. But when you're local, it's like, that's 30 minutes now. I'll come back another day because I see it at 5 every now and then. I'll hit it when it's 5 because
or 15
because you have tomorrow, you have next week, you have a month from now. Where a vacationer has till Tuesday.
Yes, so you might have to stand in line 70 minutes for Tron, whereas we wouldn't.
No.
It's different. But the way I know that it still has my heart and the magic is still there is those staycations. We don't do them that often, but when we do, it really does feel like vacation again. It throws me back to when we lived up north. And, I have no idea why it is, but I love staycations. I love to just to be able to go again and feel like a kid again and not work.
Well, even when Disney puts us in a resort, if we
Yeah.
have something, we're going to a ship or we have a media event early and they put us in the resort, I still feel like that first day when we check in, because usually they don't have anything for us that first day.
Right.
That's a staycation day. Because like you said, we walk in the room, it says, welcome Atwood family on the TV.
Yeah.
We're checking to see what time the food is open till. We're checking to see what time the parks are, what time's the bus run, what time is this and that, just like you would if you're on vacation. So we do get that vacation bug, even if it's just for a day or 2 days. I know a couple years ago we had a media event coming up, and it was around my birthday time.
Yeah.
And we went and we stayed, I think it was at Port Orleans Riverside, or was it
Riverside? Yes.
Riverside. And we went and stayed an extra day. We added a day onto what they were going to have us being on property for. So we ended up staying an extra day for my birthday.
And we just swam and we
in the
ate
pool,
at the pool bar. And
we just had a whole relaxing day before our media event started for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It wasn't work yet. That was vacation time. Because we don't even on vacation time, we're still working. But it's just nice when you can just take a break and relax in the pool and not have to worry about, did something hit that we had to get out? Did we get an email from somebody that we got to do something? It's just more relaxing.
Yeah, and I just wonder if it's obviously not the same thing for people who have moved here just to live here, and don't do what we do.
Right.
If you work in an office or whatever, maybe you still feel that way. But I do think that when you live here, you do get a little bit more like used to things. And it's not that you don't love it. It's just that you're not waiting a year to see it again.
Correct.
And I think that's what it is. And I, like I said, sometimes I have to remind myself not to take things for granted, because I know, like the other night I was thinking to myself, because, 11 years ago we were here, and we just got here and everything was still fresh and exciting. And then standing in front of that castle 11 years later, I was like, this is still pretty awesome, because I remember days when I lived in Michigan that I would have done anything to be standing in front of that castle. Yeah. And so it's all about perspective. And I think that, you have to keep yourself humble. And there are ways to still enjoy the theme parks and live here. But I think for us, it's work because it's our job.
Because that's our job. Yeah, if you have a normal job that's not...
If you have a normal job.
If you have a job that's not associated with the parks in any possible way.
Yeah.
You work at a restaurant, you work at a bank, you work at one of the hotels on 192. You have nothing to do with Disney itself. Then you go to the parks and it is fun.
But isn't the whole area still some way, somehow goes back to Disney, because like Disney pretty much runs this town?
We've heard people at Universal, we've heard people at SeaWorld, Legoland, that all those other companies are here because of what Disney did.
So they respect Disney. They're like, they're the ones who started all this. They're the ones who got this travel industry in the Orlando area hopping. And so there is respect there for Disney still. But yeah, I think that there's parts of me that misses home. I miss a change of seasons. I miss, that's why I love going home at Christmas, because I'm going to get some cold weather and snow and, but
do you think it's different now though? Because you're going to go home for a week. You're going to get cold weather for a week, but the next week you're coming back down here.
Peace out.
Yeah, you're coming back. And even though our winters are like 50 degrees.
I love our winters here. They're the best.
It's a lot easier to go and deal with the cold for a week, knowing that you're going to be back in the 50s and 60s the week after, and you're not going to need that winter jacket, or you're not going to need those boots, or the
snow boots and mittens,
and the mittens and thick gloves and all that other stuff that goes along with being up north.
Yeah, so I don't know. I find it. I have found personally that I have an appreciation for both places now, because there's parts of home that will always have my heart, but then there's parts here that this is home.
Right.
So, like, balance. But I guess my whole point is that, what was I expecting? What did I think it was going to be? Being that I always dreamed of living here. And for the most part, I do love it here. This is what I had always wanted. Are there times that I find it hard? Yes. Are there times that I think it is too freaking expensive here? Absolutely. Are there times I wish we had more people around us? For me, all the time. I miss having my family. I miss my friends. As much as I love being with you every day, I do miss having people around.
No, I get that. And I think the other thing that's funny is everybody back home's like, oh, when you guys coming back home? It's like, we live in the vacation capital of the world.
Somebody come visit us.
We have more to do here in a day than you guys have in a year. And you guys want us to come back there. It's like, we've lived there. We know what's there. You come here and see what we have to offer, because you're going to be in shock, I think, if you see everything. And that's why the girls love to come here, because there's so much to do. Your mom and dad come usually twice a year, 1 to 2 times a year, to see it all. But there's other family members who are like, oh,
I've
yeah,
never
I'm going
been
to
to
come down
visit.
here. And they're always like, I'm going to come stay with you guys one weekend. Okay, sure.
Okay, sure, come
And
on
they
down.
never
And
do.
they don't.
They never do.
They're like, it's just easier for you guys to come up and see everybody in one shot. But all in all, I mean, I'm glad that we made the move. I feel like my life really started when I left Michigan.
Yeah.
And because I was just existing there.
You weren't living, you were existing.
And like I've wrote about in my book, and I've wrote about online and many times, I really feel like, if you have something in your soul that you are passionate about, or something that you really want to do, it is worth it to take risks. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should move to Florida. I'm talking about whatever that may be. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But the whole point of it is that you had taken that risk to find out, is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it what I want? Because when we got here, we were like, well, if we don't want to go stay here, we can go back. We gave it a year.
Yeah.
So I think that you have a contingency, like a backup plan, and but at least you tried. So I knew that if we hated it here, or if we couldn't do it, at least I would know in my heart that I gave it a shot.
You gave your best shot you could, and it still didn't work out, and that's fine. And that's what's
okay.
meant to be.
But I tried.
Yeah, you at least satisfied that urge that you had to try it. And like Michelle said, she's not saying take the kids out of school, sell the house, sell off everything, and just come down with what the clothes on your back. No, not saying that at all.
No.
Come down with a plan. We had a plan. Granted, our plan we thought was a good plan when we got here, and then we realized how many deposits. So do more research as far as if even if it's not Florida, if you're going anywhere, do more research about what you're gonna need for deposits. Do more research on what you're gonna need for things. Do research on how long it takes to get anywhere.
Have a big nest egg, because it is expensive
it
here.
goes quick.
It sure does. But anyway, but as far as the 11 years go, thank you guys so much. Main Street Mouse is 15 this year. We've been here 11 years, and another great part about us moving here is we've gotten to meet so many people that have followed us, do meetups and such, which September 6th, save the date. But there have been a lot of pros to being here, and all we can say is thank you guys for your support, and we couldn't do any of it without you.
No, if we didn't have you guys as having our backs, so to speak, and reading what we put out and promoting and supporting what we do, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
so thank you guys for that. And like Michelle said, we've met some of the greatest people. I mean, some of our bestest friends on the earth.
Our bestest.
Like me and Corey. I talked to Corey for years before we moved here, but once we moved here, I finally got to meet him, and that was
he's
just
known us
great.
15 years.
Or Autumn back in the day. I mean, it's just even when Mike was around, Mike Mosina.
Mike.
Sadly, he's passed, but
we've actually had friends that were with us at the beginning of the start that have passed away, and that's how long we've been in it. To where we've seen people, sadly come and go, but they'll always have a special place in your heart.
They're always a part of what we did.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine, like Fran. I can't even imagine. I give her so much credit for helping keep the morale up with our group.
Oh my gosh, she did. When things would get sad, Fran would be the one to pop in there. Hey guys,
you guys,
remember this, remember that.
Or she would message me like, I believe in you. You got this. It's okay.
She always gave you some motivation when you needed it.
Always. So yeah. So we're. I just to wrap it up, we're super grateful, and hopefully we can continue for years to come, bringing you guys all the Disney magic, and hopefully you stay on board with us.
I hope you do.
I hope so.
Please don't take off now.
Please don't leave us.
We need you now more than ever.
We need you.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
All right.
And it's actually sent from a guy this week.
Okay.
Usually it's always the women that want to ask you questions, but this week we got a question from Jeff in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. He said I'm paraphrasing, his family's coming down to Walt Disney World in August, and they wanted to try some different dining options. I'm guessing probably like us, they stick to the usuals that you're used to.
All right.
And he says, what are Michelle's top 3 places to dine in of all of Walt Disney World? Now, I'm going to say, he didn't say this for sure. I'm going to say he means table service, not just a walk-up.
Okay, fair enough. Whew, that's a hard one.
I know one of them right off the top.
You do?
I think I do. I think I do.
What do you think it is?
It's our favorite one of the Springs.
Oh, Splitsville?
Yes.
Okay, so I love Splitsville. I don't know if I can give it top 3
Oh wow, okay.
because and another thing, we are such creatures of habit, and I keep saying we need to try new restaurants, and we're so bad for that.
We're bad about it. And the problem is, a bunch of restaurants we loved they aren't the same anymore.
No, and
Like,
if they change,
Trails End was our absolute favorite of all of Walt Disney World.
best value,
Best
and it
value.
was a great little buffet at the campground.
Pain in the butt to get to, but worth
still.
it.
Oh my
Worth
God,
it
that
every
was
time.
like our favorite when we moved here.
It was. We
I-
went so many times at first because it
And
was
we would
cheap.
bring other people there because
We
it
would.
was cheap.
We brought your dad there that one time, and he could not believe how great the food was.
Oh my
it's,
gosh.
It's Texas barbecue and home cooking.
Mac and cheese and cornbread and
Yeah.
mashed potatoes.
So good, and I wish they would bring it back to what it was because
Scott's
it's
still not over it.
1900 Park Fair is another one. It was so fantastic.
I
before
loved
COVID.
that place. Now it's the.
And I was saying,
So yeah, those are things to keep in mind, and that's why it's a hard thing to pinpoint because things that I used to love for so many years are have changed.
right?
I do think that the Italian food in the Italy Pavilion, you can't go wrong. Whether it's the restaurant or if it's pizza over at Via Napoli. Via Napoli also has Italian dishes. You can
Yes,
have like
they do.
manicotti and lasagna and all
Yeah, I
that
think
stuff.
a lot of people just think it's pizza, and it's not. It's
It's
an
not.
Italian menu.
So
But-
being half Italian, I love Italian food. It's in my whole upbringing. So I'm gonna go with the Italy Pavilion. You can't go wrong either
Okay.
place.
Okay.
Um,
And Via Napoli was one we went to when we were vacationers.
yes, it's so good. All right, so I'm trying to think of other parts. I know it's hard.
I know of another one that you might say. I don't know.
You're gonna say Liberty
Magic
Tree?
Kingdom?
All right, Liberty Tree was always one of my favorites, and I guess it would still be up there if you like home style food,
Mm-hmm.
where you can have like turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, that dessert they have,
And it's served family style.
bread, salad. Their salad is really good.
It is.
So a good family style like home comfort food meal
Mhm.
would definitely be Liberty Tree.
Oh yeah. That's how-
I do not have any suggestions for Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom, I like Yak and Yeti,
yes. Yak and Yeti is a good one.
even though it's a Landry restaurant. It's not even Disney owned.
It's not, but if you're a Landry Select member or whatever, you pay for the membership because they own T-Rex, they own Planet Hollywood, or not Planet Hollywood, they own Rainforest Cafe
Yeah,
and stuff like that. You get front of the line, you get the same things you get at the out restaurants.
Yeah.
Use there. So if you have like
If a Landry's card, use
yes.
it. But yeah, I do love Splitsville. I'm trying to think what else. Isn't that sad? I'm like drawing
Raglan's
blanks.
always a good choice.
I do like Raglan. They have the best bread pudding. What else do I like? I'm drawing a blank.
Well,
We don't eat anywhere.
well, the problem is so many of them have changed over the years.
And it's
For
expensive.
breakfast, Cape May,
Cape May is a great breakfast.
great breakfast, and it's characters.
Yes, I also like Woody's
Woody's
Roundup.
Barbecue, which is a really good one. We haven't been there since they changed the way they do it, but it's still the same food. They just
best
bring
side
more of it.
dishes on property.
Best side
Fantastic, and it's like it tastes like summer food.
Yes, it does. Like you're sitting barbecue and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do like that. But yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. I gave you more than 3.
That's true.
But
the
yeah,
option.
but I do think that we really need to make an effort to try other things. Enzo's Hideaway Bar, that's another one, Italian food. Fantastic.
Best steak I ever had in my life.
Enzo's Hideaway, it's like a hidden gem at Disney Springs, and it
It's
really
actually
is it is a hidden gem.
because it's actually you have to take stairway down to where it's at because it's kind of
like a
underneath.
tunnel.
Yeah, it's kind of underneath Maria and Enzo's restaurant.
Yeah. So Enzo's, I forgot about that. But yeah, I
Art Smith, I think, is a good one.
see. It's too much dark meat chicken for
It
me.
is for you, but I think their food is really good. The things I've had, I've never had anything there I didn't like.
All right, so maybe, please keep in mind, Jeff, that I am a picky eater.
Very big.
So there's a lot of things that I don't eat. So food is not my top subject because I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork, I don't eat fish. So there's a lot, and I only eat white meat chicken. I'm almost vegetarian to the point. I like a good side dish or some pasta. So keep that in mind. But those places that I named are some of my favorites that I do recommend.
Okay. All right. Well,
Fair
Jeff,
enough.
hopefully that answers your question, Jeff. Thank you so much for sending your question. If you have a question you would like me to ask Michelle on the air, you can email me, scott@themainstreetmouse.com, and I will ask her the question on air. And I do these live. She has no idea what the question is, so we get her right off the top of her head what her answers would be for these questions. So if you want to send in one, I will gladly ask her.
And you can tell they're off the top of my head because I sit here going, I don't know.
And we don't edit that out.
So.
No. Also, Michelle's Daydream Believing podcast comes out on Thursdays, approximately 7 o'clock in the evening. If you have a question or if you have a comment or a show idea or anything about that show and you want to message her and ask her, you can. Michelle@themainstreetmouse.com. That's Michelle with 1 L. And she will happily answer your question on air, or she will take your suggestion, or she will, I don't know, just send her your questions, send her whatever you want, and have a talk about that. I also, before I finish up here and before I do the sponsors, I want to mention our Halloween pre-order is going on currently for Lost Princess Apparel.
Yes, Halloween is going to be here so fast. It starts the theme parks here in August.
Yeah, and that's why we realized the other day, because we need 6 to 7 weeks to get the order in, so we were like, okay, wait a minute, we better get this order in because otherwise we're going to get it in September and then it's too late. So the pre-order is going on now. It started this weekend. We're probably going to run it through this weekend because that will give us enough time to get it here by mid-August. Hopefully mid to late August is the expected arrival date. So get your order in. Also, I just want to mention, and I can't say this enough, make sure you order the size and the print you want in the pre-order, because we do not order a lot of extras like we used to because we get stuck with so much stuff, so we want to order what people want. So get your order in there. That way we have it. Once it arrives, it'll get shipped out to you.
Yeah, lostprincessapparel.com.
Yes. I'm just going to mention, anything else you want to talk about before I do sponsors?
No, I feel like I've talked a lot.
Okay. Anyway, TMSM sponsors. So first and foremost, MEI Mouse Fan Travel, our official travel partner of the Main Street Mouse. They have been with us for many years now. Becky Macon and her team over there are fantastic. They will help you plan the perfect trip. Disney, Universal, Royal Caribbean, wherever you're going, whatever you want to do for your vacation, they can help you plan the whole thing, and they take all the work off of you having to try to figure it out and make it work, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So any of their banners on our website, click it, you'll be taken, fill out a small form that will go to one of their travel advisors, and they will reach back out to you, and they will help you plan the perfect trip. Also, Kingdom Strollers, who is our official stroller and scooter partner of the Main Street Mouse. They will deliver your scooter or stroller to wherever you're staying, and they will pick it up for you, so no hassle on your part. You can reach them at kingdomstrollers.com. Just let them know you heard about them from the Main Street Mouse so that they know where the traffic is coming from, because by supporting our sponsors, you're supporting the Main Street Mouse, and that's what we appreciate so much for you guys doing that. So that's all I have to say. So I'm finished. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to let Michelle close us out.
Hey, so again, 11 years in Florida, 15 years of the Main Street Mouse. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. September 6th at Disney Springs, we are having a 15-year anniversary meetup. I will definitely plan some fun stuff. I will let everybody know there is an event group on Facebook. If you go to the Main Street Mouse, under events, there is a tab that you can join to stay updated on what's going on. I will keep adding more information there as I get it, but make sure you RSVP there so that we know how many people are planning on coming. So on that note, we hope you have a wonderful, magical, fantastic week ahead, and we'll see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings, watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.